Hey!
Hi. Hello. And welcome to the Partner Panel.
I wish I could just reach to the screen and grab it.
I got you, bro. Anybody hearing last second is going to be like, grab what, Sockcap?
Whoa.
Oh, man. Right?
There's that
yeah.
new voice.
We were talking about beers.
Oh, man. He's like, cha. Yo, no. So, welcome everybody to this week's episode of the Partner Panel. Y'all are gonna have to excuse the people watching this little flutter that's going on. I don't know where that came from, but welcome everybody. So we are here to talk about Fault. We're gonna tell you the latest news, the latest tidbits, the what's it called, the 411, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right.
The down low.
Yeah, and we're here to tell you about what hasn't been said. And I feel like that's what's mostly going to be talked about today. But let's start off by introducing our amazing cast here. We have our traditional host plus our special guest. Now, you guys know me. I'm WinduTheMace, both streamer, YouTuber, etc. And I am doing a formal introduction beat for those of you that are listening in podcast form. If you guys could, please make sure that you do so, because we do have quite a bit of a podcast audience that's starting to form up. So if we could start off going down the list, let's go Bearded Mangoose and then Sockcap. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Say a little bit.
Hey, I'm the Bearded Wolverine. I'm your Michigan wonder. Huge Michigan fan. But also a Twitch streamer, fall partner, and great to be here. What's up, everybody on the Mangoose? You are awesome, and you probably know me from YouTube, mainly from the Honest Hero reviews, from many really off-color and probably cringy videos that I did about Paragon. Lately, I've been more informative, which I think the community needs. And you can check me out on For the Minions or Enter the Ether, where I talk about Ethereal. Sockcap, your ball's in your court.
What up? Sock Twitch streamer, Fault partner. That's about it so far. Just playing Fault Pred and OP when it comes out. So.
True, and it is worth mentioning.
Like the main thing you're known for.
Oh,
I mean, what are the main things? What? Yeah, you eat. I mean, you eat them all the time. How good are they?
Oh, I was gonna say being handsome. I do eat children's writing utensils on stream sometimes. The dismay at my wife. She's not like it.
Is that true?
I don't eat. Yeah. Yes, bro.
I've eaten like 5 of them. I'm like, or 6. They're
No
gross.
shit.
I've watched this man eat a crayon on stream. And I'm like, why, bro? His argument to me, swear, I don't even know if he remembers this. His argument to me was, bro, I'm going to be real with you. It's for the stream, but they're made so kids can eat them just in case. So I'm fine. I was like, what?
When you were talking about
toxic
famous things that Sockcap eats, I thought you meant dicks, but I guess correct.
No! I can't, bro. Okay, that's a segue. Anyhow, interesting segue. So let's do this. As typical, we're going to go over the latest news that's been released by Strange Matters here as of late. And then from there, we're going to go on to our own interesting subjects, right? So the first thing I want to go over is the fact that the only thing that has been actually mentioned recently is a tweet.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a week and we have a tweet. One. And correct me if I'm wrong, the only words are insert birds chirping and wind blowing .mp3. That's the only words that we've heard out of Strange Matters in a week. Now, I will say, the art that is displayed is, interesting. I'm going to put it up on the stream here so that individuals can form their own opinions. If you are listening on podcast form, I do encourage you to go onto the video format and kind of peep this part real quick. But I do want to go down this list. Let's go ahead and start off with our newest guest, Sockcap. Tell me what you think about this video, bro.
The picture?
Not the video.
The picture, sorry. I don't know. I have no idea why I said video. Yikes.
I think they've added, I mean, I will never know what it looks like to I will never know this when I play because my computer's a piece of shit. So, but
Whoa.
they've added like grass, a nice kind of lighting. You can see like kind of the rays coming through the trees or whatever. I mean, it looks good. I mean, and if that's what the map looks like for 14 visually, like I'm pretty happy about that. So obviously I'm assuming that with the title of that, they're also talking about adding like ambient noise or something like that as well. So, I mean, it looks good. And I don't think that there's, I mean, I can't really tell what lane this is from the picture, but if I'm looking at it correctly, I don't see like, it's just that one fog wall. So I don't know if that's just one entrance into this lane. Maybe this is.
I think it's got to be a solo or duo.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's definitely not mid, but I think it might be solo. I think because it's got.
Those are the one major fog wall.
Yeah, but I mean the fog wall looks nice. I mean everything looks
Duo's
good.
only got one major fog wall too, though.
Yeah, but I'll be honest with you. I don't know why. Maybe it's because there's less people, but it really does feel like Solo's fog wall is bigger.
I think it just is bigger.
It might be. I don't know, but they both solo and duo have those kind of like elbow, kind of parts that come in on the sides, right near the towers, and I don't know if those have been removed. I can't tell from this, but regardless, I mean it looks good, and hopefully we'll see more about the map soon.
That is true. Lyndon does in chat. Lyndon does bring up a good point. He's like, it's not bigger. It just feels bigger because of the shrine. You have that wall for the
entrance
that's literally right there. So when you walk in, you literally feel like you're like, okay, this is a tight quarters, and then green buff is shoved right up against prime wall, so then you literally have more of it's more open.
That's a good point. It's almost like an optical illusion. It just feels like it's bigger.
Yep. So I can see that.
It is worth mentioning in the chat, somebody's already asking, is this going to be a new map or a graphical update? We are going to talk about this in a moment. It is worth mentioning. This is going to be a graphical update. They are planning on giving us a new map regardless. But currently, it will be a graphical update.
I do have to laugh because that's the J-Pie warning. That's who brought it up, right? There was devs in this guy's stream telling him it's just graphical update. So I love that he came here and asked, though. Hey, thanks for the support, J-Pie. I love you, brother.
J-Pie's amazing, bro. Now, Bearded, what do you think about this?
I fucking love it. And the reason I fucking love it is because the map guy came in and was so pissed about this picture because you know what? There's more. He wanted something better to show to us. So for him to want something, he said there's better pictures for them to show. That just says that if this right here is the least of our, this is not that good of a picture, and I think it's amazing. You got that fucking tree going across the lane like that, just coming off the map, going across the lane, going into the jungle, and these grass and the ferns and everything there. If this is just the little bit and there's going to be better pictures, I can't wait to see what this map looks like. Mm-hmm. I know it's only a update. It's only it's not a new map. It's not the new map that Sylvan's talking about back in his blog post back in 1999. But it's not that same one. But it's happening. We're gonna get that one eventually. This is something this is finally something for Fault's current player base to enjoy, and it's not just for the new players. This is something that we get to enjoy as well, and I can't wait. I'm excited.
Interesting. And Mangoose?
I really don't care. I play a lot of indie fucking 2D platformers and shit, so I don't care about graphics.
Yeah.
I care about gameplay. I care if the game is fun. I don't give a shit if they update their map graphically. It's okay. Whatever. I'm sure it'll bring more people in, which is cool. But I really don't care. If this was a complete rework of the map, I'd be a hell of a lot more excited because that would bring more gameplay opportunities. But it's just the aesthetic rework. And from my point of view, I know a lot of people will care about that. I personally don't give a shit.
I feel that. And I'll be honest, I'd have to kind of agree with Mangoose, because here's my thing. Map rework? Okay, I'm excited. But at the same time, like I sit here and I'm like, okay, if you're going to tell me that the only differences I'm going to see are lighting and foliage, I'm not that excited. You feel me? Like whether there's a tree above me in solo duo, whatever lane this is, whether there's a tree above me or not, it's still the same exact map. You feel me? Like it might change the ambiance, so to speak, maybe a little bit. But at the end of the day, I honestly hope that there's more than just trees and improved lighting. You get me? Like I just really, really hope that it's more than just that. Now, the question could be brought up. Is asking for more a little bit too greedy, considering they're trying to do other stuff? What do you guys think?
Well, I don't think, I think if we're not asking for more, then something's not being done right. Like we should always be asking for more. Even 8 years down the road from now, we should be asking for more. Right. If there's no more that they can give to us, then we're done. Like, that's it. There's no more growing, so we should always ask for more.
Oh, I agree. And obviously if these games continue on for years and years and years, I imagine that they will keep updating stuff and keep adding stuff and all that jazz. So, I'm excited for like a graphically updated map, as long as it doesn't take like a hit on the processing. So, and I don't want to like jump subjects, but what Lyndon said in the chat, where it does structurally seem different, the lane. I think that you can kind of tell from the picture as well that there is stuff that's being changed. That it's not the same. It's not completely different, but it's not the same from how it was just in this picture. You can see like the way things are laid
definitely
out. So
yeah, because I think they're getting people used to having a dip instead of a hill in between the lanes.
Because there's always that hill, so you could drop below that hill and you actually could almost not see. If you were both below that hill, you couldn't see each other.
You can clearly see from tower to tower here, and then some.
Yep. And who knows? Maybe this is a dip in solo lane, and maybe in duo lane it's a hill, or vice versa. Maybe the other lane's a different situation.
Cool. That'd be pretty cool. Like a variance.
I'm excited for, at least in this picture, for it to go down in the middle instead of up, because it always makes it awkward when you're like trying to CS or farm or fight in front of your turret. Whereas
Murdock, you have to like literally point your buckshot to get everybody, to get all of the minions to get to hit that buckshot. If they're on that hill, you're like, okay, well, fuck, I'm only gonna get 2 of these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I just see, and I hate to be more the negative Nancy, because that's not usually me.
No, you don't. That's you.
Let me be, bro.
I am the white knight here. You're the guy that says, no, this is nothing. Show me more.
Dude, I'll be honest. I literally see a change in terrain. Like, instead of a hill, it's a dip, some more grass, and 1 tree. Change my mind.
But okay. Why do I got to change your mind? Why? The thing
I don't like you said that was amazing. Like, I'm sorry, but
amazing, because I know,
bro, they went from a hill to a depression and added bushes and 1 tree. That's not amazing. That's what it is.
Sound worse.
That's what it is. Geography.
Technically, you're 100% right, but depression just is. You take the word depression, use a definition of it, and it just makes it sound like now all of a sudden.
Okay. They went from the normal triangle to an upside down triangle.
No,
but it's
a holler.
A holler.
There you go.
A holler, yes.
Thank you.
Brother.
That's a very southern thing.
Right, exactly. But it sounds better than depression. I literally feel like, all right, now nobody has money. Like, we don't have the money to fund this game. We went to a depression. Like, so come on now. The word depression gets used for everything.
But what you said is actually interesting. The fact that they're mentioning that, well, I'm sorry, not there, excuse me. The fact that Mr. No Mercy, the main map guy, mentioned they could have used better pictures, but they used like the most simplistic picture possible to show. Now, I'll be real. For me, that's a double-edged sword. Why didn't they show the more intricate picture? Is it because they're going to change stuff, or is it because they were wanting to keep it for better advertisement down the road? And if they're wanting to keep it for better advertisement down the road, does that mean we're very far out from getting this? Because they're like, oh, maybe next week we're going to save pictures for the next 2-3 weeks instead of showing a bunch of pictures now. You get me?
They've always been, SMS has always been, we want to show you a little to make you want more. And we want to have a big big showcase of the stuff that you haven't seen, right? So this is all this is just a little glimpse to let us know, hey, there's going to be changes to the map, right? It's not going to be the same. You're not going to come back and we're going to get a new hero AI mastery work, right? You're getting actually the map is going to be updated, right? That's what's happened. There's also more things happening. We're going to make this thing visually appealing and going to be great for you. They didn't show you the good stuff because they want to save that for the showcase or maybe another tweet down the road. I don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but this is SMS. This is their MO the whole time. They've always done just a little bit and then showed, like, go back to Gadget. Gadget's whole teaser was her upside down arm, right? And then you had the reveal of Gadget. Like, that's what, like, it literally was something simple, like nothing crazy, small.
I get it.
Suck.
Oh, Suck did kind of jump out. Hopefully he'll come back here in a moment.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it. The whole under promise, over deliver mentality. I'm A-okay with that, right?
Yep.
I really do feel like, for example, if they would have shown us mid lane, was that going to be the end all be all? Like, oh, we showed our best trick. Like, you get me? Like, I'm okay with saving the best parts for last, but you don't necessarily got to sell me fucking extra grass and a tree and then call it a day. You feel me? Like, I feel like we easily could have seen more. Or even on this lane, like, I'll be honest, even on this lane, they could have added even something more. Like, I'll be honest, at this point, we don't know. But over by those rocks on the left side behind the column, we see rocks. Who knows? There might be a fountain or something over there. That would be cool. If there's a fountain over there or something, that would be amazing. But if that's just literally random rocks, you get me? Like, I don't think this is a flattering angle in general. I think they were just trying to show off that they had grass.
I think this angle makes you want to wonder what is on the left-hand side. Makes you wonder what lane it is. Makes you wonder what else. Like, it literally gives you all these questions of what's going on. And, it just gives it a talking point.
I'm tired of wondering. Just give me the goddamn patch.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. Well, I think that's the biggest.
I want the patch too. Believe me, I want it.
I think that's the biggest question. What's taking so long? Since we are literally just not kept in the loop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did something go wrong with the patch? Did they just announce it too early? What the hell happened? I thought this patch would be out 2-3 weeks ago. I really did. They made it seem like it would be. And like I do polls on my YouTube channel, like with the excitement of how excited people are over these games. Vault is just steadily losing progress because they talked about this patch and then they didn't release it, and it's just they haven't had a huge update for so long. Then they mentioned patch 14. Everybody gets excited, and then they do nothing. And then they release these pictures. Everybody gets excited thinking new map. And then they're like, nah, it's just an aesthetic update.
Yeah, I'll be
shoot about an aesthetic update. They want content. They want real content. That's what people want from Vault right now. And we're not getting it.
I'm actually very curious as to how performance is going to be with this aesthetic update. Because even though it's just an aesthetic update. Who knows if one thing or two might be updated? You feel me? Because it is an aesthetic update, but at the same time, it's very possible that they might kind of switch some camps around. Like they don't have to rework the entire map for it to be considered a map rework. You get me?
Right.
It's not a brand new map, but it's very possible that the jungle camps are switched around. It's very possible that those shrines are in different places or different structures around them. Like who knows? Maybe you go into solo lane and now there will be a wall in between you and the shrine. You follow? That doesn't necessarily have to make it a brand new map, and it would still be considered a rework. Or welcome back there, Sock.
Hey, what up?
Sock, your entire first name is on the fucking shit now.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, first name, last name, bro.
Good.
Oh no.
That's all good.
There we go.
But yeah, man, I'll be real. Performance rise, I get worried. Right?
No, I know, because
hopefully
you have a reason to feel that way, because we had a beautiful map when they first came out for early access, right? Remember that map? But then
it was much better.
Like it was
sure.
hurting. It was hard to play the game because the optimization of it was bad. So they went through and they changed things to it and they optimized the map to fit better. And then so we lost a lot of the beautiful appeal for it. So yeah, quite, it definitely raised a bunch of red flags. Is this going to cause an issue here for that same situation? Until then, but so I mean, I get the worry of that, but I'm hopeful to the point to where they knew they had that issue before. Espada is also the map guy. It's not just Mr. No Mercy, right? So we got Espada and Mr. No Mercy as the map guys, right? And Espada's been here for as long as I can remember, right? I remember Espada being just a regular member in the Discord, and then then became a mod, and then
correct me if I'm wrong. Espada is more of the bug fixing map guy, and then Mr. No Mercy was more of the map creation guy, right? Or has something changed?
He started off that way. So I remember Espada being like a regular, general person talking, and then he was a part of the I think he became a mod first, maybe, and then he became part of the the social team. I can't remember. They have an orange
marketing
on their thing. No, it wasn't marketing. Something like that. But he made videos for the team. So we did stuff like that, and then it became a dev eventually. Later on down the line. So a mod and that picture thing or videos thing is a little bit different. So you have that. And he started working on the map fixing the bugs on the current map that we're currently using. And then now that those kind of spots are all been ironed out and we've been able to play on it, he has been focusing with Mr. No Mercy, working on this map and the new map that's eventually coming, I would assume. So I just think that knowing that issue has been an issue before, that we wouldn't put ourselves in that predicament again. Like, why would you just hey, we've turned it off, let's just turn it back on and we'll deal with it. I think you're going to turn it back on and you're going to fix whatever the optimization of it and you're going to make it better.
Well, they both left.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they don't like us. So
no, you're right though. I think Espada, from my understanding, came on to do lighting stuff, but is also very capable of doing map stuff as well. So I think that from my understanding, Espada is able to bot mode. What are you talking about? These are my eyebrows.
These are my eyebrows.
We don't question those eyebrows.
That's right.
So you were saying about Espada?
Go ahead.
Well, so Windu, my understanding was that Espada got brought on to do like lighting issues or work on the lighting, and then he's very capable of doing map stuff as well. So I mean, he's got that skill set. So there's no, I mean, he can do map work for them that's more than just lighting and those issues. And then if you were talking about, yeah. And if Kuch, were you talking about like when they did the lighting the first time and it kind of borked everything? And
not just lighting. It was literally it was a whole bunch of stuff. They were literally we had grass. When we had the early access, when early access first opened up, we had grass in the lane. We had rocks in the lane.
Grass, trees, everywhere.
The lane itself had texture to it. And then it like but because of that, it was causing FPS issues. It was causing optimization issues big time. We had a bunch of UE4 errors, closing because of the map. So they optimized it, made it, we took away the great look of it. Still, game was able to play. Game was able to play. You're playing a great game. So that's what I'm saying. Like, because we've had the issue before, I doubt they're gonna bring back all this beautiful look and just deal with everything that was causing the issue before. They know that they had it. Because they know they had it, like, hey, if we're gonna do this, if we're gonna put these ferns and these tall grass and these rocks in here, if we're gonna do all this, we got to do it and still have the same or better optimization than what we currently have.
So I don't know if I don't know exactly what happened with that map, but I
don't know.
Feel like what I've heard and what I've been told about certain things is that at least when you're talking about like developing a game and developing a map, right? If you're adding assets onto the map, like a patch of grass, a tree, whatever, those things, you put them in all individual. What's up, buddy?
Did you know?
So,
that's adorable.
Sorry. So you put all these like individual assets down, right? And so like when you pan your camera and you look at those things, if they're all individual things, then it's keeping track of every single thing at once. So that causes like issues on like performance. This is me speaking as somebody that has no idea how to develop a game, but this is what my understanding in basic English terms. Mm-hmm. But you can merge those assets.
Which basic English for a Virginia man like you is even hard itself.
That's right. So
damn, bro, get me out.
Well, Lennon, you might not put those assets individually, but what I'm saying is that they're their own unique thing, right? So, but you have the ability to like merge those things into a solid thing, I guess. So like, for instance, all the grass in one lane can be one thing. So it takes up less performance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like individual sources and shit.
Right.
I get it.
You're talking about what Fringe did with Predecessor.
I guess. I don't know. But I think that was the issue with that first map with Fault, and when they had the nice lighting and all that stuff, there's a lot of those things weren't kind of merged and put into their own kind of category of things.
Well, part of the problem is the epic assets, you have like a rock. So what you do is you stack those rocks.
Right.
But that rock still renders as an entire rock.
Right.
Even if you don't see the backside of that rock because it's pressed up into another rock, it still renders as an entire rock. So what you need to do is make that entire range of rocks one piece so that you're only rendering the front and back half and not all the little middle pieces, if you get what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. And you're using less resources to render, which then saves on, your optimization, and it works better for you. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we had the issue before when early access first came out, and we didn't really have a dedicated map person. We had a bunch of developers working on a bunch of things, trying to get this game going. Then we had 2 dedicated map people working on what we're looking at in this picture right now. Because of having 2 dedicated map people, I am under the assumption that we're not going to have that issue. It's definitely worth the worry, of having the same issue again, because we've been there. Are we going to have it again? I don't think so, but I can understand the worry of the community.
Hey, Lyndon, I'm pretty sure that obviously me and Mangoose don't know the specifics of it, but I'm pretty sure that you can take like an individual thing and then like merge it, right? Because I've seen like, stuff in developing through just being a tester in Fault where, if you click on an asset like the grass, when you click on it, it brings up all the grass in that lane, right? So that makes it like one piece that the computer's keeping track of. Obviously, it's still rendering those things, but it's like one solid object instead of like a bunch of, dozens and dozens of objects.
Right. That's why that one tree is going across the whole map, because they didn't want to render a bunch of different trees. So they're literally using just that one tree.
to provide shade to. I mean, it's not the first time that we've seen it. Like, no, but I'll be real with you. It's not the first time that we've seen it where one tree illuminates shade for like a good chunk of the map. We saw it back in the Paragon Legacy days. You get me? We saw it in other competitors as well. Like, it's kind of smart on one end, and I'll be real with you, kind of lazy too. I'm like I can't look at this tree and say I love that one big ass fucking branch just sticking over their land and be like, yeah, that's what I wanted. Yeah, that's my branch. Yeah, like I just can't. Personally, you know, my 2 cents. Now, I do kind of want to throw this in there because we are conversing about the whole, you know, going in there, setting all these map assets, etc. Even as little as this was, and even Mr. No Mercy coming in saying there could be more that they could show, but they haven't, right? Even all these things put together, we now actually get informed, and by Mr. No Mercy himself, actually, that he came into the Discord chat and did mention, I've been temporarily fired for a month or two, but fear not, because the future is bright. I will be back on at some point, but the news would be released sooner than later, so thought I might as well drop it in here. I'll be hanging out here regularly though. And there was more that was said, but let me ask you guys, what do you guys think temporarily fired for a month or two even means?
That statement makes me, I don't like that statement. That statement makes me think I put some hidden shit in your game that you don't know about. And when you come calling and saying, what's wrong with my game? You're going to have to call me back, you know, something like that.
You think that's what that is? You think so?
I don't think so, but it's just a weird way of phrasing that. I've never once been like, yo, to my employers anyway, y'all fired me, but
I'll be back.
2 months, I'll be back. Okay. You're going to take me back. You'll see. I've never once said that. I get fired. I'm like, well, time to look for another job.
I did ask in Gen Chat. I was in Gen Chat when this happened. I did ask, you know, like, so is it a suspension or is it a firing? Because the fact that you're coming back, when somebody gets fired, you don't just come back, you know, like and you don't just.
Right. Unless you sabotage and they need you, low key. Right. But I doubt that's what happened.
Right.
So I asked, so is this more of a suspension or instead of a firing? Because the way everything was talked about, and one of the mods said he was temp banned. So temporary banned, right? I'm like, okay. And then he replied, Mr. Mercy replied he said, yeah, basically to my being a suspension, you know, and I do know that he's overseas. So I know that translation is not always the easiest, you know, so maybe that could have been that, but I don't know. Like it's very tough to tell. It's very early on in the firing / ban / suspension, whatever you want to call it, out of those three.
Right.
It's definitely a different situation though.
So I want to mention real quick 2 things that just a couple things that Mr. No Mercy said in the chat, and I want to address a statement made in our live chat as well. So Megan says he was hired as a temp. Sometimes workload slows down and they need to scale back. Most contractors, most devs use contractor types, so they don't have to pay them full time. So that's a very, very valid point. Actually, I can't confirm nor deny if that was the case in this case. That would make sense.
I do know with playing games with him that he is literally a what is that? When you have work multiple jobs, what is that called in this situation?
Just working multiple jobs. What do you mean?
No, like in this situation, you can get hired by multiple teams.
Like independent contractor,
freelancer.
Yeah.
A freelancer.
Thank you. I do know he's a freelancer. I do know that. He already said he was working on it. He not only does he work with Fault, he's working with other communities as well. And he even said that in that same conversation in Gen Chat when he said he was getting suspended. So he is a freelancer. Yes. I do know that because he would come in and game with me on stream, and I was teaching him Fault for a little bit. You know, that's why he was so bad, because he learned from me. Don't come learn from me. You know.
Now I do
some credit.
I do find it interesting here that he actually mentioned in the chat, I got carried away at the environmental art and got caused gameplay issues, mostly collision issues. And then he mentioned that he'll be coming back, but for now, there's no need for me since they are doing technical gameplay stuff and optimizations. So the second statement solidifies the whole contractor side, because he says, he's like, hey, I'm not needed right now. I did my job. I might come back later when you do the full map. Right? So that makes sense to me. But the first one saying I got carried away in environmental art, caused gameplay issues, mostly collision issues, that lets me know patch 14 is kind of set back until they fix those. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
Could be, I don't know. But it's one of those things where I feel like I gave that analogy earlier where it's like a chef working at a restaurant, somebody asks you, you know, I want this dish or whatever. And instead of making that dish, you had a whole bunch of other shit to it, right? That they didn't ask for. And your boss tells you, hey, just quit fucking with the recipe. And you keep doing it. You know what I mean? That's what that statement sounds like to me, you know? So I don't know. But the other thing too, I don't know if this is the case or not, but if you're talking about like in that picture we saw like the overhead branch or whatever,
yeah,
the tree, if he's saying it caused collision issues because he's adding too much stuff, either that means that people were getting clipped on things too much and getting stuck, or like, you know, abilities like Paragon had that issue too, like
Gideon Rock.
Yeah, or
for example,
Clank's Q. Yeah, it would come down, sword would come down and get like stuck in an archway. You know, I remember seeing that all the time in Paragon in certain places of the map, because that is still a solid object above you. So unless they fix that stuff, that could also cause gameplay issues. So hopefully that's not what he was talking about. But
I don't see why it would impede the progress of patch 14, because there should be different builds for the game. They should have the build for patch 14 that works and that they could release right now. And then they should have, you know, stuff that they've worked on later on. Like, I don't get why patch 14 isn't out now. I don't understand it.
I think it's more because of they probably want to have those map updates out. You feel me? Even if their collision issues happen and everything, they're probably like, hey, we rather fix these issues and release patch 14 that way than release patch 14 without those.
But now, did they even say anything about patch 14 if it wasn't ready?
I'll be honest with you, bro. At this point, let's hire a tarot card reader because they might be able to tell us more information. You feel me?
It's tarot.
I'm sorry. I'm clearly not in tune.
It's definitely not a parrot. It's not a parrot tarot card, all right? It's a different situation.
I would say tarot. Anyhow, so worth reading here also. Right before Bearded asked him if it was a suspension such, Mr. Normancy in the general chat actually mentioned, somebody said unlucky. And he replied, it's not about luck. It was my fault. I caused technical issues. The map looks great and runs well, but they told me I needed to stop being artistic and focus on technical things. And then after that, I would forget and place more things and so on. So yeah, it's on me. Now I'll be real, reading that, I see two major things. One, my dude was dedicated as fuck to make that shit look good. That he just kept on going and kept on going. And they were like, yo, slow down. And he's like, yeah, but this looks dope. That looks dope, etc. So shout out to Mr. No Mercy, right?
No, this is the same guy. I know, before you move on, this is the same guy. Like I told you, he would game with me, right? And as he was gaming, I asked him, like, so, hey, you know, I've seen his portfolio. We showed his portfolio on the partner panel, you know,
amazing.
Pulled it up, and this is looked great, you know, and he's got some ray tracing abilities and stuff like that, you know, and he planned on doing ray tracing and stuff like that as well, you know, eventually once we get DLSS and stuff like that, like that was the whole goal. And he was talking about, like, you know, getting things so in depth with the map that, like, when you walk through the river and the soft dirt being like more like mud, you leave footprints. Like, that's how in depth he wanted this to get. Like, he was talking about it. He literally was just like envisioning amazingness for this map. So him saying that, it just literally comes across what he already was telling me when he was a brand new dev.
Bro, I'll be honest. as outside looking in, looking at the company, that kind of worries me. Because I'll be real, I imagine hiring an artist and the artist is going ham. And then you tell the artist, hey, I'm going to need you to stop being so artistic. Tone that down. We're looking for something a little bit more gray around these areas. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I got an artist that's going ham and he's not only making visual improvisation, but he's also making it perform well, bro, I'll be real with you. Let that man go ham. Once he's done, we'll iron out the kinks and then push it through. You feel me? Like, why would you want to hold somebody so creative and somebody that's going to help you so much? Why would you want to hold them back?
Because of 14. They're getting so much heat.
But that's their fault. They wanted to add a map improv in there.
100% correct.
Might as well do it right.
You're 100% correct, but 14 needs to come out, and the more he adds, the more time that technical work needs to get done. And we can't, and until that technical work's done, we can't release 14. Like, it literally is a double-edged sword. Yes, we can make it more better, but like we need to release 14, so we need to stop adding new stuff.
If you have an idea for a tattoo and you hire a tattoo artist to tattoo it on your body, and they decide to get fucking artistic, you're not going to be happy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if they just start adding stuff that you didn't ask for, you're gonna be like, "Yo, hey." That's the thing.
Actually,
too.
if you watch the show Inked,
that's a good point.
There's a few episodes.
Very good analogy.
Do that.
And the thing too is, I think especially when it comes to a mobile, like, you know, it's nice having good graphics and stuff and updated graphics, but at what point does it become too much, right? Because you need like that visual clarity. You need to be able to tell what's going on. If you add like way too many visual effects and things of that nature, then it gets cluttered and it's very difficult to like follow what's going on, right?
Ethereal. I think
True
has too much going on it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a lot of processing.
I could see that for the stage and everything.
Yeah, I had a lot of processing issues on my. I couldn't even stream it. It completely maxed out my CPU trying to stream and run that game. So I don't know if that's just because the map is gigantic and there's a lot to it, or if there's like a lot of extra kind of nice looking things on it. But at least in my opinion, at the end of the day, it's nice to have a map that looks good. But if it affects like performance, then you might as well just not do it. So
here's my thing too, though. Like, imagine you did the base map that was requested of you, and it works. A couple minor kinks in here that need to be ironed out, right? Imagine you did that. Let's say you add 2 more things. So now those 2 need to be ironed out, right? How much more work is it really? You get me? I can see it being an issue if after those 2 things were fixed, then he added another 2. After those 2 got fixed, then he added another 2. That's problematic. You feel me? But if I have an artist that brings it up to me, and I guess that would be another thing too, as far as communication with the company, right?
Yeah, I think.
What were you gonna say, Bearden?
I think to answer your question, I think it depends on how easy or well it is to iron something out. You know, you give me a t-shirt, I could iron it out really quick. You give me a dress shirt, now I got to do some work. You know, literally, you ironing a shirt. It comes down to like there's some things to work around, and there's some things you got to figure out. And there's, you know, it's maybe all right, yeah, I ironed this side out and it works great. There's no clipping, but for some reason, if you run back the other way, there's clipping on it. But I literally already worked on this. What's going on? There's so much more that can go into it. Like we as people who don't know when it comes to developing a game, you use the term ironing out and you say, okay, yeah, you fixed it.
That's a great analogy.
But
I'll give you kudos for that. That shit was clever.
You know? So like, it depends on what's going on and how that works, because he added 2 more things, but how, you know, did he add a t-shirt or did he add a dress shirt when he added the 2 more things? That's like, it takes more time to get into it.
So I think also too, the way, I mean, I don't know if all game companies are like this, but obviously you have like different departments, right? And like, so, you know, you have like Sylphan and Jamson doing like game design, right? Making items, doing like core gameplay, making the decisions around those things. They kind of work independently. Obviously, they communicate in between the other kind of groups of people like Jester and Fresher. Hey, like we have this idea for an item. we're gonna like run it by you, but this is what we need from you guys to make this a reality. Like, we need this item to do this. So this is like, go ahead and program it if you can, and they let them know like, hey, we can do this, or hey, we can't do this. Those types of things. Like, so that's how that the company's been structured, like from the get go, right? It's that you have people that are in there. This guy's map design, this guy's game design, it's back in coding, stuff like that, and they all just kind of do their job. But if you have, I think maybe what the issue was, at least what it sounds like to me from his messages, is that he just kind of, like you said, Windu, he just started throwing shit in there, and then like stuff that wasn't asked for, and then like showed them like, hey, look what I got, and they're like, whoa, you're a little crazy with this shit, man. You know what I mean? Like, you threw a lot of stuff in there that we didn't ask for. So it's maybe not so much adding one thing and fixing a problem afterwards and adding another thing and fixing. I think it was just like, boom, like just drop a whole bunch of shit in there. And now they like really have like, whoa, what are we going to do with this? So that's what I think anyway. And that's how I feel like,
Yeah, and
just looking at your mask, Bearded, it's just, I can't. I take you seriously, bro.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
oh man, and for those of you listening in, Bearded's actually wearing a Wolverine mask, so we just try hard to ignore him. Well, somebody in chat, shout out to Ray Roo. He actually mentioned gameplay always has to take precedence over visual fidelity. Especially in a MOBA, overreaching with a map can actually cause a myriad of issues: collision, LOS, readability, blending, performance, etc. If it's not done in tandem with the game design and systems, you're asking for problems. And in doing so, you force a lot of collaboration and take time from other projects. Sounds like he couldn't balance his personal vision with that of SMS as a whole. So that statement kind of comes back to what Bearded was actually saying, how he had this vision of adding all these things, etc. But maybe there was kind of a clash of like, hey, he wanted to do 10 out of 10, but Strange Matter was like, hey, it's just a rework. Let's make it 5 out of 10. And then go out of 10 on 10 out of 10 on the map. You get what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah. First of all, Ray, thank you for the first time chat. Really welcome you here. Thank you for the support and great comment. I really do appreciate the comment. The one thing that I would say about that is gameplay always takes precedence. So they pretty much, I mean, I'm hoping there's going to be patch and reworks and bug fixes along with 14 because we're on 13.13 right now, right? That's our patch. We're on 0.13.13. So when we go to 14, I'm hoping that there's going to be patches and things change with that, but they already have gameplay. Like it's already there. Like, adding the visual fidelity, as Ray called it, is just adding on top of what we already have. Now you have to add that, you have to make that work with the gameplay that already works. So there's still stuff with it. I get it, but like, I think we already have the gameplay down in a sense. Like there's things that need to get worked on. Yes, we're still early access. I know we're not ready to release full release yet, but I think we need to make this visually appealing too, for not only us as the current player base, but for the new people that come in as well. You want them to come in and be awed by what they see. So I do enjoy the work.
So I will say this too, though, and if I could detect everybody to the visual version of the podcast right now, for those of you that are listening, you can see very faintly directly behind that tower that's shown on the picture, you see an elevated surface on the edge of a lane. So can I say, and you still don't see the tower, right? So can I say that there may be additions added, and
that was already
that's already there. Yeah.
On the surface on T2, you're saying?
Yeah. 100%.
100%.
No way. That fucking way. Because look at the T1. Look at the T1, and listen to what I'm saying. On the T1, you have a small surface area being covered. When you have that exact same surface area being covered 50 feet back, that almost makes it seem like it's a bigger surface area being covered.
That's not part of the T2 though. That's just a part of, it's an elevated surface that you are able to go off and go down on. That's always been there.
No, but I'm saying like these elevated surfaces have always been part of the towers themselves. Whenever there's an elevated surface in the tower,
middle and the back, that's not part of. That's not. I mean, it goes so far out, you wouldn't even consider it part of the tower. There's one to the right of it you can't see around the corner. That's an elevated surface right there. As soon as you go around T2, you can literally hide there and back. That's where a lot of people hide and back is right there. And
I know which one you're talking about. The one that's hugging after the fog wall. I know that one you're talking about.
Right, and that one's there. That one comes up. You have stairs coming up right off. So you have the T2 ring. That tells you where.
See, I know what you're talking about,
and you go upstairs.
I know what you're talking about, and they could just be me, but I really do think that surface itself might have been reworked, because that surface, as you see here towards the front of these towers, if you remember, towards the end of the T2, those are the stairs that start after the T2. You feel me? That literally ends in a small surface that's literally the width of a Gideon rock. I don't think that surface back there is the same. It could just be me though.
It's just you.
Probably.
Yeah, it's just you.
Probably. You never know.
You are high as a fucking kite right now.
Negative, my dude. Negative.
I'll be honest, I don't know what we're talking about.
All right. Sock, though. Sock, we got to have a different question. Oh, man. But how do you guys feel about the both the progress and probably the delivery of this map adaptation is what we'll call it?
What's your question?
The
progress and the map adaptation, whether it be the dip in between the towers, you feel me? Whether it be the shadows added and such, like all the different changes and how far it's progressed given the time frame.
Before we go down that road, I want to talk about the non-boisterous part about this with SMS. Like, you come out, if you go back and read the blogs that tell you they're getting a new map, right? We're going to get a new map, right? We already knew that. We had the Sylphin blog back in 1999. We know that is going to happen. We're going to get a new map. It's going to get bigger, right? So we knew that was happening. They also said in the blog roadmap when they were doing their updates, right, that we were going to get a new map. They said nothing about an updated map, right? So why won't you? Because now everybody's going to think this is the new map. Why would you not just come out and say that we're still going to give you a new map, but we're going to update this one?
Man, I feel like maybe they're just teasing, and not including everything that's coming out in patch 14 is what I would imagine, right? I mean, but
it's already been confirmed that this is going to be a visual update. It's not a new map.
Has it been confirmed?
That I've seen it. I've seen devs in streams coming from devs in streams saying this is just a visual rework.
I think that I've seen devs come in and say that it is not the new map, but it is going to be things on the old map are going to be changed, and it's going to be a visual upgrade.
Right. And I do have a picture that we exclusively
say that to us.
I was going to say, I do have a picture that we exclusively got here on the partner panel last week of a confirmation that this specific picture is coming for patch 14. And I think we can all agree this specific picture is not anywhere in the existing map.
Right.
So I think it is fair to say that if it is the old map with new stuff, the old picture was very nice new stuff. The old picture, you look at it and you're like, oh, this is spicy. But then when I sit here and show you the new picture shown, it's like, damn, that looks too familiar. You feel me? Like, how are you going to go with something so amazing as what was shown last week, and now kind of like this is a downgrade from what we were shown last week? And this is apparently all part of the same map.
But the difference is, show me the tweet of that picture you just showed me.
We are the tweet. What do you mean?
That wasn't an official. That was not the official. Hey, look at go check it on anything SMS put out. That's not an official thing. Yes, did we get that? Was that great? Yeah, and we greatly appreciate that. But that wasn't an official announcement. The only way for you to see that is to either go watch it on your YouTube channel or be here live when we had it posted. That's the only way to see that picture.
That's so true. There's so many people that haven't actually gotten a chance to get a good look at that teaser that we got in the partner panel exclusive last week.
Yes.
But this is all confirmed. Both of these pictures are the exact same map, all patch 14. And I'll be honest, just looking at the two of them, it looks like night and day. That bothers me. You know what that makes me feel like? You ever seen a movie that you can clearly tell they ran out of budget 3/4 of the way in? Like on the last quarter.
Sci-fi special.
Yeah. Where you can clearly tell the last quarter. It's like, damn, bro. I wish they would have had an extra 100,000 right there. Because it literally, like, this picture makes me like, yo, look at these trees. Look at that fucking falling tree that's leaning over towards the left side. Look at the river, the rocks. It's like, yo, this looks dope. This looks like a lane with grass and trees on this new picture, though. So. You get me? Like, I'm sorry if I'm being too hypercritical, but it literally feels like they spent all their budget on that side of the map.
Yeah,
I think the one that we got, the special leak for us, I think that is so if you, let's say, because I remember in Paragon, right, you could run out, you could look out, and you could see like the world. You know, in a sense, we'll call it.
Yeah, you can technically do it in dual lane right now, but you'll just see a whole bunch of rocks.
I think that is just a visual upgrade for that outer look to kind of give you more of a feel of you're actually somewhere and you're not just floating. You know, I think that's what our leak was. I think that was just an aesthetic upgrade there.
But how does that make
it look so great?
How does that make sense? The outside looks higher fidelity than the lane?
Because you don't have to interact with it. You can make it literally just this, and it doesn't have to be anything. Like, you could just be a good looking picture and there's no interaction with it. There's nothing that has to be done. Like if I'm Sparrow, I can't shoot it and actually have my arrow go into it. Like if right now that wall, if I'm Sparrow, I could shoot that wall. My arrow has to do something to that wall.
I got you. So you're saying maybe because it's uninteractable. They might be able to go further into the visual spectrum. It's like, yo, we can make that shit looks good as hell. But the parts that have to be interacted, the parts where the Gideon Rock has to be able to land on the other side of the wall, all of those might have to be simplified down.
Exactly.
Yeah, but nobody gives a fuck about the shit that's off the map.
I mean, hold on. You say that. Yeah, hold on. You say that, but I'll be honest, as a dual lane main, I'm fucking tired of looking at a pile of weird looking rocks off of the left side, off of like that lower down wall. I would have rather had the wall that Solo Lane has, instead of looking at a wall of random weird ass rocks. So if you're going to extend the map further, and if you're going to make a non-playable area, at least make it look good.
Right. Well, that,
be cool. But
dual lane was great. The best dual lane visual was Halloween, when you had the
it was amazing,
and the jack-o'-lanterns on there, you know, something to actually look at, you know, something that was like, okay, this is cool looking at. Like right now you got nothing. Like you literally don't even visually care. Like, and I get it. Gameplay, you don't care. It could be literally just be a gray wall. Like literally, what was it when you guys were testing? I remember Britick had a video. It literally was, what is that? The map. You literally are going around jumping, and it might have been Predecessor you're doing it for. But I remember you guys like going around jumping and like, you know, as Kalari and doing
that
things.
Was core.
Was that core? What's that map called? But what was that like? You literally, it was just a gray map. Is that what it's called? Is that like,
well, no? Then that was a Predecessor, or it was Paragon demo is what it was. Then it was like one lane, just gray map that he was running around in. It was
the whole map. It wasn't just one lane. It literally was the whole map, and you were able to run around, jump around. So, but yeah, I think it's called gray map or whatever. But either way, it's like you could just give me that gray map, because I mean, gameplay, that's all I'm worried about, right? You just give me a gray map on that edge wall, make sure I can see inside my fog wall, you know. But yeah, we still want visually appealing, something aesthetically like great on the eye. And I think that's what the difference is. I could be completely wrong, but that's what I believe it is.
Yeah. I'm not low key flexing, stranger or street.
Hey man, they see you with that tank top with the eyebrows. The whole chat is like, "Hey man, that's the sock I want, bro."
He's just trying to show where he came from.
That's right. Smash right there. Right there.
I can't, bro.
No, but I mean, I think that so far in that picture, from what we've seen, I like it. I'm never going to complain about updated visuals. Not that I'm saying you guys are complaining, but I'm just saying.
No, Windu's complaining.
I'm complaining. I'm 100%. I'm complaining. Like, you feel me? That's like whenever your parent comes at you and be like, "I got you something new," and be like, "Mom, where are the wheels to my Hot Wheels?" But it's a Hot Wheels though. Like, you feel me? Like, if you're gonna add shit, make sure you go all out. You feel me?
Well,
like one random tree trunk going across the lane with some leaves coming out of it. It doesn't blow my mind. It's like, all right, you added a tree and lowered the terrain. You feel me? Like, I'm sorry if I'm being hypercritical. That's just the way that I see it. And considering that the map designer himself said they could have shown us much better. But at this point, I'll be honest, as much as we've been waiting, and who knows how much longer we're going to wait. If you're going to show us something, make sure it's your best bang for buck. You feel me?
Why? I like it.
Because you don't want people to lose hope. At this point, I've been playing more Forza than I have been Fault. You get me?
Yeah, you got the wheel there. Right?
Yes, I got the wheel right here, regardless. My point is, you want people to be ultra excited for what's coming.
You were playing Forza 4 more than you were playing Fault.
Well,
a month and a half ago.
In my defense, a month and a half ago, I was still on patch 13, waiting for patch 14. So the fact that the new Forza came out and patch 14 still isn't here is just sad. And I'm sorry to say that to SMS, but it's just sad, bro.
I think, but now you're putting a crazy timeline because how long was Forza 4 out for? Like, you make it sound like Forza 4 has been out forever on patch 13.
No, and granted, Forza 4. Here's what I'm saying. Forza 4 was out for like 2-3 years. Granted,
you can't use the whole "I'm at Forza 5."
No,
rather do because you would be that's the way you are.
I will agree with you. It's an unfair comparison because Forza 4 was out for years before Forza 5 came out. Granted, but what I'm saying is, as a consumer, as a player, I grabbed an old game before I continued playing your game. I grabbed a new version of that game before I continued playing your game. I am literally sitting here about to be like, yo, I'm probably going to try that new Grand Theft Auto remake before I go back to Fault because nothing new has dropped. The average consumer feels that way. The majority of the Fault player base left for New World, the game that kills your PCs.
yeah, that's insane. People ask me to play. I'm like, you're out your mind. No, hell no.
Think about it. People rather risk their PCs than play Fault. I'm sorry, but that's a realization. Strange Matter Studios is competing with the rest of the gaming market. It's ignorant to sit here and think that they're only competing with other MOBAs or that they're only competing with other Paragon remakes.
I agree with that. And that's the thing is that right now I feel like this is my personal opinion, my speculation, right? Let me clarify that. I do feel like they feel like they're only competing against Predecessor and Overprime. And that's the problem because Predecessor and Overprime are not out right now. So they have the time to take their time, in their opinion, is how I feel it, right? That's what I'm seeing, right? And you're right. New World did take a lot of the player base, of the current player base of what was there. But I don't know. The problem, the biggest problem is, and me and Mangus have said it multiple times, the biggest problem is they talked about 14 to the point that we insinuated, or they insinuated
as a community,
as a community that like 14 is coming soon, right? If you didn't make that insinuation that 14 was going to be here soon, them showing this picture would have been great because we would not be thinking about 14 coming around. 14 should have been here by now. We'd be thinking, oh gosh, I can't wait to see what's going on. Think about it. If you're literally just looking at this, like Ethereal, right? We'll go back to that. Like, there's no announcement of when Ethereal is happening or what's going on. We know Ethereal, like December, right? Is supposed to be when the alpha opens, right? But if they just show us, but there's no like actual thing, like, hey, next big update for Ethereal, this is what we going on. But they showed you a picture like this. Hell yeah, dude! I can't wait, dude. This is gonna be great. But because we were at the point where like, hey, the way you guys made it sound is 14 was 3 months ago. Where's it at? That's the issue. That's the biggest problem we're having. Because you show us this picture when we don't have those expectations. This is great looking. This is awesome.
Here's where I'm going to counter with you. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I will never sit here and say that this picture is good for a week's worth of information, because in the past week I've seen competitors in the remake genre release not only pictures of a brand new original hero, but then they release another second original created information. And then on top of that, they released another picture, but I'm just getting a picture of a lane with a tree and grass.
Oh yeah.
And here's what I'm saying, bro. Like
the amount of stuff that we're getting. No, I'm not. I'm on your side. I am completely on your side when it comes to how much information we're getting. But again, that goes to the how spoiled we were in the beginning. You know,
you're right
as well. Yeah,
you're right. But think this: a month and a half ago, they told us we're going to cut back on shit. We're going to give you more dev vlogs, more dev streams. We're going to give you more social media interaction. You gave us a picture in a week. Where's the dev stream? Where's the dev vlog? Mangoose makes more content than this when he's bored. And then Mangoose kills it, by the way. I'm not trying to throw a shot at Mangoose, but y'all see what I'm saying?
Hey, you want to fucking come with me? Come with me? Let's do one of these fucking boxing matches. Like,
yo, I've seen more content out of Mangoose when he's drunk. I'm sorry, but Strange Matters, step it up, bro. Come on.
Content out of me when I'm not drunk.
True. That's a different point, though.
That is the content. No, they need to step it up. You're 100% right, because the thing is that the Overprime is the one you're talking about with all this their own character. A picture of something that we don't know what it is.
Some fire dude and mentioning that there's ray tracing and shit.
Right.
That's Revenant. Or Von Rover.
No, that's not. No. What I'm talking about is not fire. This big motherfucker is not Revenant.
He's not talking about the fire dude. He's talking about the beetle looking motherfucker.
I'm telling you, it's a complete different situation. We're not trying to get into Overprime. That's fine. We can talk offline about that. But I'm saying, like, you're right. They're fucking kicking out content. You know, if we did a Overprime partner panel, even though we're not partners, you know, we'd have a lot more to fucking talk about. 100%. You know, well, you're right. Okay, I'm not a partner. I'm sorry. I'm not cool as you guys. Fuck me. Anyways.
Well, I'm not a partner for. Who's partner for Pred?
Apparently, Gooses.
Pred doesn't have partners.
I know. I'm kidding. No, Overprime. Overprime is what we're talking about. Mangoose. So, what did you think about Pred? Anyways, so you're right. Overprime's kicking out these fucking information and great content, and here we are with Fault, and we're getting nothing. And the problem is like, we have they're hanging on the edge of the whole, we have a game that's playable. The other ones don't have that yet. But as soon as those other ones do, Fault's got a lot of fucking running to do, because you're playing right now. Fault was the hare in the tortoise and the hare equivalent, and the other two are the tortoise. And guess who wins that race? If you haven't, spoiler alert, if you haven't read the book or the nursery rhyme, the tortoise wins the race.
I was about to say, it's a book? I didn't know it was a book. Man, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong on that side. The fact that they... And here's the thing. I hope to whatever it may be, right? Like, I'll go Latino for a second. I hope that it's not complacency, quite frankly. Because the whole, hey, we're doing our own thing, our own pace, etc. That's all fine and dandy, but there is a world where realism matters and where competition matters. And competition is what gets the best out of these companies for the consumer. It might not be what's best for the company, but the competition is what thrives for excellence as far as consumers are concerned. And it is one of those things that at the end of the day, like, yo, I'm getting a picture of grass and a tree and a depression. in the lane. I'm sorry, I know you don't like that word. I'm getting a picture of grass, a tree, and a depression, but a competitor is posting a video of them submitting for Steam release. Which one of those two generates more hype?
I don't know, but I wish you would say holler.
A holler? You want me to say that? A holler? I'm from the South. A holler is something else. Like, hey, that's a holler.
No, a holler in the South. A holler.
Yeah,
That's right. Sunken Valley.
Florida's not South.
Man, you can't say that from Virginia. You're like
South.
You're like the beginning of South of Virginia, bro.
I know a lot of people from the South that say Florida is not South.
Yeah, you
All right, I was in the Navy. I was with a bunch of people. I was with a
You guys are your own thing, Windu.
And Florida is their own. Florida might as well be Puerto Rico. Literally your own. You're on your own. Yes, you're part of the United States, but you're
hey man,
but you're
only Kissimmee's Puerto Rico. Let me tell you that. Kissimmee's Puerto Rico, down by Miami. Calle Ocho's Cuba, right? You go to West Palm, that shit's basically Dominican Republic. It just depends where you go. But different conversation.
South. That's hilarious.
I mean, I don't agree with you guys in the sense that to clarify or to be clear, I think
just mute him. He doesn't agree with us. We don't agree with him.
I think it would be better if SMS had still continued to do like small patches, whether it's like an item or something like that, right? And continue that, and then and still work on the patch. Obviously, that would have like pushed things back, but it sucks when we go for months without like any sort of content, right? And no matter what, no matter how much teasing or anything like that, I mean, people are gonna stop playing. You know, if you stop adding things to a PvP game like a MOBA, right? If you stop changing things up, changing the meta and adding new items and content and stuff like that, people are gonna stop playing. But I mean, I just don't know until these other two games release. At least in my opinion, right? I don't know. It's one thing to like work on it behind closed doors and not have the game operating live 24/7, you know, to be able to push stuff out and then tease stuff and work just completely with, you know, full tension on the game without any other thing. Whereas Falk's got the game open and all that stuff, right? You can play it. And I just don't know. I mean, I just want to wait and see when those games come out, see like what, you know, maybe it might be the same. We might be in the same boat with those. They might not be able to push content as fast. You know, we're at the same speed that Falk's been pushing them, you know. So, I mean,
so you're right with them. We don't know how fast they can push out content, but you as SMS need to take advantage of the lead you have.
Sure, I agree with that. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. That's my whole point, you know. And Sock, how hard would it hurt to right now? We've had no content. We've had these small minor patches. We've had 13 small minor patches, and then after that 13th patch, we've gotten nothing since a big for a while now. When was 13 actually dropped? Does anybody know the date that 13 was dropped? 13. Not
like late April or 13.
13. When was the last small patch we just recently got?
Like beginning of September, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it's been a while. How hard would it be to just give us a fucking hero to hold us over for 14? Drop a hero. We already know a hero's ready to drop with 14. Give us a hero. Give us somebody we can play with until 14 gets dropped. And then when 14 gets dropped, we literally just distract us. You know, you're walking through Walmart and your kid's throwing a fit. You hand the kid a fucking sucker because he stops crying so you can finish shopping. Dude, just here you go. Be distracted for a minute. I got to finish grabbing this shit. Give us something. Give us a fucking hero so we can play with, and then we can move on.
And, you know, we're talking about how fast updates can come. We see with Overprime, it's not how fast the updates can come. It's is there such a thing as too many updates?
Yeah,
like there's a competition between these games.
Oh, yeah.
Like it or not. And Overprime is coming out with their own brand new fucking hero. Not only that, but more heroes than Fault has now.
Yeah. No, it's a big deal for sure.
And a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit that Overprime's coming out with.
Yeah. Overprime is kicking it up. I've always been I wouldn't say hater, but like not a fan,
hesitant.
We'll say for Overprime. with how they've handled some things in the past, but as of recent, they've been bringing some shit out, and it definitely has got me intrigued. I need them to slow the game down a little bit because I don't want the fucking thing to be 15 seconds and done. That's my sex life. That's a different situation. And we need to. So slow it down. Let's have an actual Paragon experience, because that's what Overprime is going for. They're going for a legacy Paragon.
Are they?
Are they not?
No,
not at all.
They're not going for like
Overprime is going. They're here's the thing. That's totally a different conversation that I don't want to get too deep into. But I will say that
talk offline. That's fine.
Yeah. I will say that as far as the updates go, as far as everything, fault in itself. And here's the thing. Let me ask people here in the voice chat. What did we hear about this week's Tuesday updates that we're used to?
That's it, right?
Is that this week or is that next week? I think it's next week.
No, this week's Tuesday update. Have we heard it? Did we hear anything? How about last week's? Did we even get a message?
Well, last week was the one that was said that we don't have it. We're working on 14, but we got
that was 2 weeks ago.
On a Wednesday.
That was 2 weeks ago.
I have a lot of shit going on, so
yeah, you're good. But that's what I'm saying.
No, seriously,
like
it was last week. That's why I was asking. I thought this week was because I know we're supposed to have a patch, right? And it's like, here you go. That's what I'm thinking. This is the week of the blog, which they said we're not doing blogs, right? So I'm not worried about. We got our social, which was on Monday, right? This picture, right? Would I want more? 100%. I want more, right? But technically, the way my weeks were together, and I could be wrong if we backtrack, and I'm fine with admitting I'm wrong, but I thought this week was blog posts, next week would be patch, right? And next week would be the week of, hey, I know it's Wednesday. You were supposed to have patch notes Tuesday, but we're good to let you know we're still working on 14. That's what I'm expecting to have. But that's where I'm at with my weeks. And if I'm off with a week, let me know. But that's where I thought we were at.
So as a community, let's just only take this week into consideration, right? Because we do our weekly videos. Is this picture enough for the week?
No.
Why?
Not with.
And I want to hear from all of you.
Not with the patch limit. We need more. We need more. We need the patch. We don't need teasers. We don't need all this bullshit. We need the patch. They announced
You insinuated the patch was coming out earlier. You made it seem like the patch was coming out 2 months ago. That's why this one tweet is not enough. If the whole community didn't think that patch 14 was coming out this quick, this would be fine. This would be fine as long as we were getting these updated patches. But they stopped at 13. And I'm still right when let's go 2 months ago. I'm still right. The next patch is going to be 14. It might be 0.13, 0.14, but it's going to be 14.
I think at this point, it's going to be 0.14.0 because at least what it feels like they're doing everything as possible, holding back as much information as possible to make this as big of a patch as possible. Because they could have released update notes by now if they really wanted to, balance fixes by now if they wanted to.
Patch notes.
They could have added something by now if they wanted to, but it just feels like they're trying to. It's like, oh, all right, you know what? Yeah, let me carry this one. Yeah, let me carry this RAM over here. Let me carry these keys over here. I'm gonna carry this fucking protein shit over here. It's like, you know what? Let's hold on to every fucking thing possible and make it as big of a patch as possible. And then we're gonna tease them and be like, hey, can you see that? You see what that is? Yeah, I hope you like it. No, bro, like stop teasing us on this little shit and holding on to what you're saying is so much. We had this chat last week. The mods saying that there's so much coming. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be overwhelming. If there's so much, why are you only giving me a picture, bro?
Right. Yeah, they could definitely give us more. They could definitely give us more than just this one. They could give us this picture along with another hero tease. We know there's a hero coming out. That was our show, our episode last week. It was one of the. Well, actually, it was one of the founders announced that there will be a hero with 14, and then we're going to start bringing them out more regular like we're used to with season 0 pass, right? They said that, right? So yeah, there's definitely more they could just do. Literally just something little more. I don't care. Give me another fucking competition. Like, hey, give me more fucking clips, send clips in, and we'll give you another skin or something. I don't know. Give us something. I do, before it goes too far away, though, I do want to pull up. Somebody asked a question. Where's that? So was the Mr. No Mercy thing a way to buy time since they knew y'all would talk about it? Just a question in chat.
Sorry, what was it?
Wait, run that again?
The Mr. No Mercy thing, the him being fired / banned / suspended, whatever one you want to call it. Was that something to buy time because they knew that we would talk about it?
No, I don't think so. I think they just got rid of him because he was not doing his job. That's
Yeah.
Really
Here's the thing, and I hate to say this, but it really does sound like there was a disagreement behind the scenes with, vision, production, whatever it may be, right? There was a disagreement behind the scenes, and the employee went to the general forum to let the community know. And I hate to say it that way, but if I were an employer, or it's just outside looking in, that's what it looks like, right? Because the community didn't need to know that he was disconnected, but now by the community knowing, it's kind of throwing a wrench into things. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but the wrench is in there regardless.
So
they didn't.
I've had this conversation.
But sorry, I don't. SMS doesn't make a statement about that or anything like that. It was only him.
That was only him.
I don't even think that they necessarily were even planning to.
Correct.
No, and there's been other things that happen. They haven't made statements on it, and that's fine. That's how they choose to run their business. I'm okay with it. The Mr. No Mercy situation, this guy's been somebody who's always been boisterous in Gen Chat, right? I know when he first got hired as a dev, how he was at that time when he got hired, you would almost never see a blue name talking in chat, right? And this guy, he got hired, he's sitting there talking. He's asking all these, these Gen Chatters all these questions, getting to know people, saying things, saying what he does, what he gets to know. People would bring up his portfolio. He would talk about it. He would do. This guy was always very boisterous, and he didn't have a problem voicing how he felt. Hence the situation. They dropped this picture when he was a dev. He came out instantly said he was upset that they used this picture because there's better pictures that they could have used. There was more information that he alluded that there is something better than this. And that's why I'm okay with this picture. I look at this picture and that tells me great things because he said that, which alludes there's actually better spots. I can't wait to see the jungle. The jungle with this picture, what I see here, the jungle is going to be amazing in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so.
So he's always been a boisterous guy. So for him to come right out and say, hey, this is what's going on. He's always been the guy that sit there and put it right up there. He hasn't been anybody to hide anything, or he's always put his thoughts out there, and I always respect the guy for it.
Don't forget about my homie Balix. He's always talking in Gen Chat.
Balix is getting more active now. There was a time where literally all the devs just went quiet, went straight silent for a while, and that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like there's some devs that don't talk at all, and then Balix is one that's a little more active. Jamson's one that kind of gets a little active occasionally here and there, but no, Balix is great. I love Balix. But no, I'm just saying, like he was the only guy that you'd see a blue name, like, oh shit, there's a blue name talking. What's going on? And then I'm sitting there watching some of the things he's saying. I'm like, that's interesting that a dev's saying that. Okay, got it. Okay, and I just pay attention. As a partner, I watch Gen Chat. I might not always be active in Gen Chat. I try to be active occasionally, but I watch Gen Chat just to kind of see how the general population feels about the game, because I have this show, the partner panel, where I can portray what the community is saying.
I hate watching Gen Chat. I'm sorry to say it, but
something you don't do.
Hates Gen Chat.
No, watching Gen Chat right now is straight depressing. And I'm just going to use that word again. It's straight depressing. It's people asking for patch 14, people changing the subject on purpose, and then they randomly go on a rant like, oh, yeah, you know what? I did like that movie for no random reason because it's a fall fucking gen chat. And then an hour later, now somebody asks about patch 14 again, and here comes somebody. But have you even seen this last game from Liverpool? Get me the fuck out of here, bro.
When patch 14 was announced, Gen Chat was a hill. Now that it hasn't come out for fucking ever, it's a holler.
It's a holler.
Dollar. Wait, not to change the subject, but did you guys watch the new League of Legends Arcane show?
Yeah, it was fucking tight.
I
heard it's amazing. I was going to watch it here in the weekend. Side note.
Dude, I don't even know shit about League of Legends, but that shit was tight.
but worth mentioning, and again, just if Strange Matters hasn't realized this by now, they need to know, and hopefully they know that they are competing for people's attention. The average person can only do one major thing at a time. Maybe two if they're either really multitasking type of a person or if they're just not paying attention to the secondary, right? But people, like, you're only going to get one person to play one game at a time. You feel me?
No.
There's constant of games coming out. You're honestly telling me that people that own a PlayStation and an exclusive comes out, they're like, the Fault has to come up with a reason as to why would you rather play Fault. And same thing with Xbox exclusive. Major game comes out. GTA remake comes out. Why should you play Fault? If Strange Matters does not have a good answer to that question, Strange Matters has to fucking dig their heels on the ground and get ready to run as possible. Because if they don't have a good answer to that question, they're falling behind.
Yeah. Because there's a reason to play Overprime over Fault and Pred. There's a reason to play Ethereal over Fault and Pred. Right now, the competition is between Fault and Pred over which one you're going to play. And Pred is winning that fucking competition, hands down. Fault needs to do something.
No, I agree. They do. Because right now, if we're looking at just fan base, right? Just fan base people who want to play these games, right? Pred leads in fan base, right? If we're, and then Overprime, with content being put out, Overprime's leading in content being put out. Hey, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. Like, they lead in that. Fault leads in the fact that it's playable, and that's it. That's the only they lead in. And then you can't hang your head on that for the whole time. You got to do something to change that up.
But now think about that, and think about a map guy saying, I want to make it better, and you tell him no.
Yeah, I mean, I just think I personally think it's one of those things where if it.
See, now you make it you make it sound so simple and like, oh yeah, that's all you're doing. No, like you're told
it's a simple disagreement. One guy wants to add more. The company's telling him, chill the fuck out.
They didn't tell him no. They told him that, hey, we just not right now. You know, don't play your whole cards like really, especially because, and I agree with SMS. I want 14 now. Could Mr. No Mercy make 14 look so fucking amazing and make it best? Great, yeah, but guess what? We're not getting until 2023 because of all the shit that needs to be done to it. But by that time, you might as well give me a new fucking map.
They announced Mr. No Mercy back in like March of 2021. It's been 8 months. If you're honestly telling me that in 8 months, he's only done additions and they're still not ironed out, what the fuck has been happening in 8 months?
Well, hold up. Another thing that I know because you play games with me, like he wasn't able to work on the map as soon as he got hired in. There was like a little, you have to like work your way. It's literally you go to a company that I was like, okay, get to work. No,
bro. If I get hired as a mechanic on a company, I expect to start working on some fucking machinery. Off rip. You imagine being a mechanic and be like, you're going to be reading this pamphlet for the next 3 months. That's not how it works.
No, that is how it works. I'm sorry. I got hired into my company. Guess what? I went to school for fucking
for how long?
My company. 3 months.
Yeah, but you went to school. Why?
To learn my shit.
And he already knew his shit. Why did they hire him? Because he knew how to map design, bro. Why the fuck did he get hired then?
It doesn't matter. Every company is different. You got to learn the company, man. It's different. I'm sorry, but that's not how it is. You work for a Geico, go work for Progressive. Just because you know how to insurance doesn't mean you have to go through their HR shit. You still have to do all that stuff, man. That's not how that works. It's not that easy. This is coming from his mouth. I'm telling you, that's not how it was.
And for your example, and at least in the insurance world, to clear that up, in 3 weeks, I got hired and started selling. Because insurance is insurance, regardless if there was a new process for me to learn. Listen, let me fucking talk. At the end of the day, in the insurance subject, regardless if I'm working for a new company, regardless if there's new guidelines to follow, new HR procedure to go through, at the end of the day, my job, my core job is still something that I know I learned, I'm licensed for, and I know what the fuck I'm doing. I have to get through that initial hurdle and then get to it. But that initial hurdle is not 8 fucking months. I don't care who it is telling me.
I didn't tell you it was 8 months. But why 3 weeks? You should have been selling insurance in 2 days. Come on, you've already done it before. My point is he had to do things. That's it. I didn't tell you the time frame. I don't know the time frame he didn't tell me. He said he was doing, SMS was giving him small things to do. He wasn't working on things right away. I don't have the answer for you. I'm just saying it wasn't 8 months. You're wrong with that assumption. All right. And you're
what do you mean it wasn't 8 months? We got told about Mr. No Mercy like 2 months before patch 13 came in.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I don't know. There you go. You're right. I'm wrong. Is that what you want to hear?
No, it's the fact that you don't know. I don't know either. But you can't sit here and defend the fact that you don't know, bro.
I can tell you the guy didn't work right away. That's what I can tell you.
And now then that's going to sit there on the company and be like, hey, why would you publicly announce that you hired a map designer and not have him work right away?
He did shit. He did small stuff. That's all I know. He came in. He told me he was doing small stuff. That's all I don't know. Every company, you got to jump through fucking hoops when you get hired in. I don't care what did. I have not been hired for any company that I didn't have to jump through hoops right away. HR, no matter what it is, I don't care what I'm doing. You have to do shit.
Yeah, but that's a month at best. Any company in the world, even a starter company, even a mom and pop.
It took you fucking 3 months. I didn't tell you anything. I told you he wasn't doing it right away.
But then even if it's only a month, again, I'm sorry, but if it was only a month, what the fuck? You're honestly telling me that this project, let's say even benefit of the doubt, this little upgrade has been being worked on for 3 months straight, and they still don't got it, but they decided to announce it. They decided to do teasers.
That's not SMS. That's nothing. I don't know what to tell you, dude. This is SMS. We've been saying it nonstop. You shouldn't have announced 14. You should not have announced 14. That's your fault.
Just a side note, when I was becoming a 911 dispatcher, it was
I love you, Windu.
He said when you were working insurance too.
It was 4 months training for us to do that job, you know. So I'm just saying, sometimes it is like that. Like Cooch is saying, sometimes you gotta start off, learn how, and plus, like, from my understanding, not all stuff like at a gaming company, like the way you code your game or whatever, it's not like universally the same across like all studios.
Right, and you also need to see, like, this is already a current development team that's working, right? You need to understand, and this is a freelancer, right? This freelancer's working for this game, this game, this game, this game. He needs to understand what SMS has as a vision. You can't just instantly come in and start working not knowing what their vision is. You got to be able
I could see that being the disagreement factor as to why they might have parted ways even temporarily and such. I get that. You feel me? And I get why like something like that might have to happen, but at the end of the day, I'm like, yo, what? There's no reason why only just one picture, right? There's no reason why you have a map guy on your team for 8 months, and now you're telling me that the patch isn't, you know, now I'm finding out the map isn't ready because of collision issues or whatever, and be like, shouldn't that shit have happened 2 months ago? Because I'm like, from what I've seen map guys work, you give a map guy a full fucking month, he'll create something crazy of just nonstop working on that full fucking month. You feel me? If the assumption is that he's working nonstop on that.
Now, in SMS's defense, that's coming from him. That's not coming from them.
But they didn't say anything else to rebuttal. They didn't make a formal announcement of their own. They just let that shit fester, and they're like, yeah, we're just not going to say anything. We read it.
Why should they?
That's the thing. Here's the thing. They don't necessarily need to. But at the moment that any individual, whether it be company related or not, starts planting a seed that might affect my company's growth, as a company leader, I guarantee you that I will make a public service announcement, at least letting my community know, hey, don't worry, things are still going good. I want you guys to know that we're still putting our best foot forward. We came across a couple things, but thanks to all the support from you guys, we're getting closer and closer every day. Thank you so much. We can't break to bring you more news next week. Fucking 3 sentences, bro. And it's still stronger than what they did.
No, that's weak.
But a weak statement is still better than no fucking statement, bro.
Explain why it's weak, Magus. Please, I want to hear your input there.
Because you're bowing down to one person on the team. You're bowing down to explain why you let them go or laid them off for 2 months or whatever. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Who fucking cares? Like, I think they should have. If I hired somebody to make an avatar of Sockap, and instead of making just Sockap, they added giant eyebrows.
Yeah, I can't. I love you for that.
And I don't think I would need to explain to everybody why I fired them. They added giant goddamn eyebrows.
Okay, all right, but now this person came in and said that the avatar, was giving issues or whatever, and doing this, blah blah, and everyone was thinking this avatar you should have had the avatar 3 months ago, but like now we're saying this avatar is actually taking longer, and with what I did to the avatar, it is actually going to take longer to fix. And here said that. Do you have a rebuttal to that, or do you keep going?
I would send my friendliest person in the whole fucking company to handle the source at where it's at. It's not like this got posted on Facebook and Instagram. You feel me? This was an isolated incident that was literally just on Discord. So I would send the kindest fucking best PR person that I got handle that Discord issue. That's it. You don't have to make a public statement across the entire thing, but at least make let the Discord people know. Let me hear from an official source of something that's going on.
So I need to say something, you're saying?
Yes.
You are.
I would delegate. I would 100% delegate.
I will 100% admit that the only reason I opened my mouth was to point out Sockap's giant eyebrows.
Can't with you, bro. Get me out.
I just wanted to say something that included Sockap's giant eyebrows.
I love them.
Get me out. I just want to throw it out. I'll be honest with you, man. If Sockap had those eyebrows, I don't know, bro. Me and him would have a different relationship. I wouldn't talk to him.
He's the anti-Britick.
He's like the anti-Britick, yeah. He's using brow now. That's the whole point. He's got big eyebrows now. He's got brow now.
Bro. I had to show the results.
He wanted to show the results. It actually works. Look at brow now.
You can tell
if you don't know anything about brown dog, check out Sockap on YouTube. You'll see the brown dog commercial.
Look, and even you can tell they're real. See, I put my pen through them, and they're just kind of looks real, doesn't it?
Yeah, brown dog.
So 100%. I color my eyebrows in with an eyebrow pencil so I don't look like Britick.
See? Man, that shit's gone, dude. I don't know where they went. Britick's eyebrows went on vacation and never came back.
I put my beard up on my eyebrows so I don't look like Britick.
Hey, man, chill out on my boy Britick. Chill out on my boy Britick. My boy Britick's an OG.
Don't even. I love Britick. I love Britick. For real. Britick is like, that dude can talk the talk and walk the walk. Britick is actually good.
I got my Britick fucking merch, dude. Back off.
Oh, clutch as fuck.
Cool. I'm your boy Britick. I got the fucking merch, buddy. Get out of here.
Right.
I mean, I'm not.
Let me see your merch.
I'm not sucking his dick like Bearded Wolverine is, but I like the dude.
Oh, I have a
I won one of his giveaways.
I have your merch, man, Goose.
You do have my
I
merch.
do.
that's
Wait,
right.
wait. I gotta go find it. I'll be right back.
So
But no, for
I
real.
I want to give away for his hoodie, right? And then I also want to give away for the whole giveaway for Genesis. You got all the heroes or whatever. So I won 2 giveaways from him. That's just because I'm more loyal than Windu, tries to say that he is.
Look, I'm going to put this out there. I'm going 100%. Like, when we were doing the ethereal test, like the boy didn't show up, and I'm kind of glad he didn't, because like I said during that stress test, Briddick is good enough to handle the jungle without having practicing like we had. Nobori wasn't. Like, there's certain streamers that are good enough to just inject themselves into these games and play well. I think Briddick is one of those streamers. Briddick is actually good at these video games.
Yeah.
And it shows.
I mean, I'll be real with you. I don't want to kind of turn this into a like I prefer this person over that person type of podcast, and feel me, like supporting this person, that person, like Nabori, my homeboy too, and I agree. Yeah, by all means, it is a matter of
I have
preference.
a better beard though. There isn't anybody that you've named off that's got a better beard than me though. So I mean, what do you want me to do about that? So, anyways,
touch of gray. Anyway, so
no. I'm sorry, but my wife loves it, and I'm going to keep it that way.
I'm wearing it. You see it? It says
More
it says,
sophisticated.
I love fat hookers.
Yeah, that is my merch.
And that has the chain, the Richter chain. I've never had a reason to wear this. I can't wear it outside in public. Nobody understands.
Nobody
They look
can.
at it, they're like, dang, that guy's forward.
Odo, you're not a streamer though. That's a different situation. Sorry, talking about beards. Odo said that he might have me beat on the beard situation, but I have the best beard on Twitch.
Pappy said Briddick might be good at games, but he's not good at growing eyebrows.
Yeah.
y'all hating so much in these chats, right?
Let's yeah, no.
Let's try to get it back. Yeah.
Let's get back to these. This picture and how we need more content from SMS, right? They need to give us more, right? You as SMS fucked up by announcing 14 so early, and now we got nothing. Like and the problem is you fucked up by announcing 14 so early, and also spoiling the community with all of this content. Blogs, patches, and now you've taken all of that from us, and we're still waiting for 14. Like, we need something, right? We don't need the blogs. We don't need the patches, but you need to give us more of these updates. We need more Twitter posts, and you need to post at more places than just Twitter, because Mangoose doesn't have a Twitter and he feels deprived. So Mangoose needs information as well. So if you could send him something in the mail, because that's really all he has. He doesn't do any of the, stuff like that. You can't even send him a text message. He doesn't have a phone.
I use the goddamn Pony Express.
Right. So you can send Mangoose something specifically just so he understands what's going on. Hell, send him the patch notes now, because by the time he gets them, it'll probably 14 probably drop. So
But let me ask you guys, and I'd love to ask the live chat that's engaging with us at the time.
yes.
What do you all think would be acceptable content for Strange Matters to release in the following week? That's not, hey, patch 14 is here. What would you guys think is acceptable content?
Before I answer that question, it was late July that Mr. Mercy got hired. So
Okay.
How many months is
Thank
that?
you. That would make it at that point 4 months, like about 4 months.
So I think,
Thank you.
yeah. So I think he did do like a little bit of work or whatever, and then started working on the map, and that's what he's been doing for like the last few months. And then he, got shit canned.
So late July was whenever they made the official announcement that they hired him.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for correcting that.
No, you good. And man, I don't know. I would just like to see. What I'm more curious about than anything really is like what they plan on doing advertisement wise. I would like some more information on that.
Yeah.
Because they've been saying like that they're going to do advertising when 14 comes out. It would be nice to know, like, maybe like what's the plan with that? How
Aren't these posts an indicator of what their advertisement would be like?
No. I'm talking about like what, because Default's never had like very minimal like marketing, actual like push or campaign or anything like that. So the game hasn't.
For example, Vanguard, Call of Duty Vanguard just came out, right? Open up anybody's stream right now, right? And if you're not a sub to them, you're most likely going to get a Call of Duty Vanguard, advertisement, letting you know that it's out.
Okay,
right?
Like Twitch ads and stuff. Okay,
Twitch ads, right? Let us know that. Hey, pay attention to Twitch. You're gonna see. Give us an announcement. Hey, pay attention to Twitch. When 14 drops, because we're gonna start advertising on Twitch or something, or something, or maybe you're advertising on Steam. I don't know where you're advertising. I don't care. Give us something that you're going to give us a peek. Don't tell us your whole advertisement scheme. Don't show us all your ads. But let us know what you plan on doing. Like, what is your marketing scheme here? You're going to do something to market. What are you doing?
I think them showing the Twin Blast eye sockets all the way dug to the ground was that. It was them showing their advertisement video tripping out. They just wanted to show people, because why else would they be making that animation where he rolls, land on his knees, and then looks back and says something? You feel me?
I don't know.
I mean,
that's like yeah. I like I said, I just want to know what they're planning on doing, like what avenues they're planning on pursuing. Is it going to go? They're going to run ads on like YouTube, Twitch, stuff like that. They're going to branch out in social media. Like what's the plan with all this stuff? Because that's the big thing, really. Like I don't particularly mind playing the game right now. It's still fun. I enjoy it, but it's the fact that the player base is so small that it makes it kind of rough sometimes. I think if the thing that I'm most excited about is the potential for new players and old players coming back, that type of stuff, just the increase in player base size with this patch. I don't much care for what's in the patch, right? Like I just want a bigger player base. So that's what I'm curious. That's what I would like to see some announcements on, stuff like that. And obviously doing some sort of like teasers every week or something like that. Keep that up. I think is good. But yeah, I mean, you've already shown off the map, so maybe show off something else,
I kind of want to vibe off of what you guys both just said, right? And this is, again, just from a marketing standpoint. I completely understand marketing through advertisement or paid ads and shit like that, right? Like that's completely understandable. But I'm pretty sure every goddamn company out there would say, if we don't have organic growth, why would we spend money to try and force it? Like if there's organic growth to a project and then you add paid marketing, skyrockets way the fuck out of here. But if the organic growth isn't successful, what makes you think paying for it is going to make it worth? Like that's almost always a guarantee that the paid advertisement is going to fail because the organic advertisement wasn't even too successful.
Well, I think
so. Don't you got to get that to like succeed and get like that organic growth to kind of be a good foundation first, so then you can boost it?
Sure, but I think that's where they're at though with that is I think that they believe that patch 14 is where the game will be good enough to where people will stick with it.
I don't think
it and they'll stick with it.
I don't think that when patch 14 drops is also going to be when the ads start as well. Right. Let's say patch 14. Well, today's the 12th. Let's say patch 14 drops on the 16th, right? Tuesday, because that would be patch notes, right? So it actually be the 17th, right? Because that's when the patch actually drops. So let's say November.
Not confirmed. Speculation, right? For anybody listening, just in case.
Only using exactly. Only using this as an example for right now, right? So let's say patch drops on the 17th of November, right? And I don't think the ads will also start right then. I think they're going to gauge how well the community accepts 14 for what it is and what's happening, and the natural growth that we get because of AI mode and everything else, and we go from there and we'll see what we got, because we do know from the numbers that I've seen the community talk about. I've never done the research myself to know what's going on, but I do know that when 13 got dropped, we had a 500 players increase, right? 500, the player base increased like 500 players, right? And then now it's that 500 players basically decreased because nobody else, like, because they weren't too impressed with all of the hype that 13 got when it actually wasn't that hype. Like, it's all back end information. So why is there so much hype with it, right? And that was a problem. So, which is what we talked about last episode, is like 13 shouldn't have been hyped so much. 14 needs to stop being hyped because you're going to overhype it, right? 14 can be amazing, but if you overhype it, we got issues. And I think we're going to wait to see, we as an SMS, this is all getting speculation, wait to see what 14 does, right? Wait to see that player base increase, that natural increase, what we got with, and then see how everybody takes 14, and then however they take it is how our advertisement's going to, our marketing is going to go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've always been of the, at least from my understanding.
Bren,
but I think they've always been of the mindset of like, they're aware that their game is not in a good spot right now. They released it early because they knew that they would be able to have a game that was playable and would appeal to the Paragon player base. But in terms of like actually having a game that I would consider like a fully fledged out like game, they, I think, are aware that they're not at that spot yet. And I think that they are now at the point to where they feel like, you know, with patch 14, that they basically are at that spot. And now they feel, I think they now have like confidence in their game to be like, okay, now we can start advertising. Now we think that it's worth it to advertise, because before, I'm pretty sure they were the mindset, it's not going to be worth it for us to advertise right now, because we will advertise to a bunch of people. They'll be like, oh, that looks cool. We might pick up a few stragglers here and there, but anybody that picks up the game is just going to drop it because, oh, this, you know, too many issues with this, or the game doesn't look good enough, or whatever the case may be. So I think with this patch coming is finally the first time that SMS has felt like they're confident in their game enough to push advertising and believe that they can actually retain players and keep that player base size from plummeting like it has in the past.
I'm hopeful.
That makes sense. Yeah.
No, it makes total sense. I hope that's the case. Right. It's just I would have been much more excited for that situation if this would have happened a month ago. You feel me?
I think
the more time passes on, the more hope dwindles. And I hate to be that guy. I hate to say that. Now we do have a message in the chat by Bren. Yes. If you don't mind me saying this real quick.
Yeah,
a fellow fault partner. Now, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts here on the podcast in general. So Bren says, I would like to hear an honest update of what's happened. Nothing specific, just a simple, hey, we wanted this patch out by now. We hit speed bumps. We're doing our best. We want to push a good patch. We want to push the patch good enough for you, for the community. Like, we want to make it good enough before we give it out to you guys. Well, let me ask you guys a two-part question here, and I'll let each of you answer. The first part, do you think such a post is even necessary or it should happen? And two, what would you want to hear from them?
At this point, I mean, I agree. It really does need to happen. The longer you prolong this and we got nothing, and we're just getting these once a week, tweets, like, something needs to happen, because, did you give us a time frame? No, you never gave us a time frame. You never gave us a date. So is this delayed? No. Did you insinuate that this patch was being dropped sooner than what we're getting right now? Yes. And that insinuation makes perceptions reality. Perception being reality, we're delayed, right? Something happened, because you definitely thought, as SMS, the way you talked about this, that this is going to happen sooner than what it is now. So there's something should come out to let us know, hey, this is what's going on. So I agree with that. But I also don't like how you left Bren hanging. He had a more message with that. He talked about, bear with us. Easy Ed is cute as fuck. Thanks. That's more that SMS should add on to that too.
I can't, bro. Get me out.
I got you, bro.
Shout out to Ed. But what about Mangoose and Sockcap? How do you guys feel?
Feel about what? Brimbrand's statement?
Right.
What would you want to be said? How do you feel about his statement, and what would you want to be said?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's fine. I mean, they always run into the. I think that they have they not said anything like that in the past about patch 14?
They've only said, hey, sorry, no patch this week, we're pushing for 14. Okay. That's all they've said.
Well, then, yeah, sure. I think maybe being a little bit, more transparent. I don't think being transparent will ever hurt anything. But
no, I mean, and then that's what Brent's saying is like not sitting there. You don't have to be straight like, hey, we're having this issue. This is why it's not out. Just come out and say, hey, sorry, we wanted things to be out, but like this is where we're at. We're working on it. We want to make sure that it's a great patch for the community. That's what he said. You're only being like semi-transparent. You're not telling me, hey, it's just like predecessor stress test. Hey, shit happened. We don't know what's going on. We're shutting down the stress test. We're gonna figure it out. And then nothing's been said since then.
Well,
right? So it's like that's it.
Yeah.
Give us more information. Be a little more transparent. Like, hey, we wanted the patch to be out sooner. It's not out right now. We're working on it. This is what we want to give you guys something great. Just give us something more. You don't have to tell us, hey, the patch isn't out because whatever, Reggie the Raptor is for some reason just running down the lane and we can't figure out why. That's we're trying to figure that out. We can't drop the patch until Reggie the Raptor sits in the fucking Raptor pit and stays there like he's supposed to.
I'm going to go a little deeper on this. As far as the advertising and everything, why did they ever release the game in a state that they weren't comfortable with advertising?
What do you mean, like what they released EA?
Yeah.
In general.
I think that they released EA and made it paid because they knew that people would buy it and it would be a big source of revenue. If I had
so that they could get the game to a point that it was at a state that it could be advertised.
Right. I mean, I think that's what they've said in the past before too, is that they plan on going like free to play when the game is at a point where they feel comfortable with not having that, without saying it, not having that source of revenue, basically like. And at least in my opinion, I don't think any of these games will ever come out free to play off the rip, right? I don't think Overprime and Pred will. I think it'll be the same thing for the same reasons, because it's just a huge source of revenue, and they know that people will buy it, right? The Paragon player base is going to buy those games. That's just the hands down, dude. We're all like crack addicts for this shit. I don't know why. But so anyway, I mean, I think that was the goal. If we release first and we're the only ones out there, and it's going to be a source of revenue for us, and we can keep working on the game, and we will have financial, we will have money to work with, basically. And they do. I mean, they definitely do have. It's more money than I thought. So I mean, I think that is mainly the reason why at the core why they made that decision. They could have waited and released with Predecessor, but then if you think about it, like Predecessor, Overprime, whatever, if they released around the same time or a year later or whatever, when all these other games released, would we even be talking about it? No, I don't think so. I mean, because you'd have all three games out at the same time. I think because they released early, they're at least somewhere on the map. You know what I mean? With these remakes, since they've been the first one out, so
they've learned a little bit. Yeah.
And I think the other thing too, to expand on that. Sorry, Bearded.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Is that not only that, but it gives them time to kind of work out like the kinks and stuff like that, right? When it comes to like running a game, right? Because all of these studios, with I guess the exception of Overprime now, right? Because they've got like 50 people, but on their development team, last I heard is somewhere around 50 people. But both Pred and Fault are small indie studios that the game was created by people that played Paragon, right? Obviously, they have experience in this field and they wanted to do it, but none of these studios have produced a game before. None of the individuals working with them, from my understanding, have produced a game before. So to release a game first, to get it working, to work all the kinks out and have like a playable game, right? That people can play whenever they want to. Well, sort of, with the player base, having long queues, you can still play it. But I think that's kind of a nice thing in the sense that they've already had these kind of growing pains. So they've kind of dialed down on those things. They know how to kind of run the game while working on it. So I think that's another reason why they release so early, is to try to get ahead of the curve in that sense.
Yeah. So first time chatter, BioCapital, thank you for chatting. Thank you for hanging out. We really appreciate the support. Said, only smart move for SMS is to bring the patch with the release of the other remakes, Pred and Overprime. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I 100% think that they need to stop living in this fucking Disney fantasy where they aren't in competition with each other. That's been my main complaint about Pred, is Smokey seems to think that he's just making his own game and that there's no other game out there. They all need to realize that they are in direct competition with each other, and they need to make moves that reflect that if they want to survive.
Yeah, I think so too. I've heard things from kind of like both studios. They're like, oh, I don't know so much about Overprime, but from both studios, like, hey, we're just kind of doing our own thing.
Yeah,
I do think it's kind of like, if I'm making a car, right, like, or like, let's say like trucks or whatever, like, the different, a Ford or whatever, somebody that works on like a Ford truck, if they see like some sort of innovative thing that's happening or something that people really respond to in a positive way with like a Dodge, then like you might want to like consider doing something along those lines, right? Like I think it's just kind of silly to just, at least at the very least, like pay attention, even if you're not going to like necessarily plan or do things off of what the other studios are doing. Like at least pay attention to what they're doing. At least have like some sort of idea of what's happening in this little space.
I'm sure they do it. Like as much as they would like to think that, or as much as they would like to say that, oh, we don't care about the other companies, I'm sure deep inside they're like, damn, y'all saw that, right? You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like I'm sure even deep inside they're at least considering it. But I think saying we don't care about the other companies, we're doing our own thing is more of a front. I think that's more of a, hey, we're too cool, we don't care about other people. But low key, when people aren't looking, they're like, y'all saw that shit though? Hey man, what are we gonna do about it? So I think behind the scenes they 100% are realize and understand. I just think they might be putting up the front of we don't care, we're doing our own thing to kind of separate themselves a bit from the fact that it is a competition. You know what I mean? Trying to be above the fact, maybe.
Yeah,
but
I mean, that might be it.
Yeah, I just like I'll be real with you, and we're getting towards that point, so we'll end here soon, unless there's something else you guys want to add here. Second,
I want to go off of what BioCapital was saying, and it kind of go with what we were saying, and maybe BioCapital wasn't here earlier. I think that's actually the worst thing that SMS can do right now. SMS has a lead. Right, SMS has the lead because of the fact that they're the only playable game right now, and people are playing this game. You need to capitalize on that. You need to bring 14 out. You need to show us something, because right now the para-zombie community, the community that is looking at these MOBAs, right? What is called the MOBA community, right? It doesn't have to be a para-zombie community. The MOBA community is looking at these games, and the way that it looks is Predecessor is a beautiful game. Overprime, flashy lights, looking great, right? But they're not playable, right? And Fault is its map. It is what it, it's in comparison to those two. it's nothing, right? Yeah, it's playable, but it's not flashy. It's not a beautiful map, right? Those two have a step on that. The only step you have is a playable game. You need to get 14 out faster and show us that beautiful map, show us that flashiness, show us the, okay, hey, we're here and we're playable and we're steps ahead. You need to come out with that before that happens, because when those games come out, people are gone. Like literally, it's going to be like turning the light. Like right now, Fault is a dark room with roaches still playing the game, right? When Pred and Overprime come out, you're a roach. And when Pred,
I appreciate that.
When Pred and Overprime, come out and are able to play, that's like turn the light on, and the roaches will scatter to Pred and Overprime, because that's what's gonna, they're gonna go there because that's something new and it's something exciting. They haven't touched it in a while. They haven't done anything. So you need to do something as Fault to to keep the community here and hold them in.
On a consistent basis, not just once every couple of months when you feel like you want to, because you got to be mindful you're competing against everyone in the world.
Agreed.
I'm gonna be honest. I think regardless, we're gonna be in for a dry spell till next year. And I'm not even talking about Fault. I honestly do think that 14 comes out before Pred or Overprime. I keep hearing January next year for Overprime, and with this last Pred announcement, with hiring that company, and they're gonna do another stress test, I don't see Pred coming out this year either. So I mean, I still think that 14 is coming this year. So even if it is delayed, and even if it is, I just don't even know if we even have a choice. Is what I'm saying, because I think it's going to be the first one that hits no matter what. So I think we'll just be sitting here complaining for more months before that even,
I mean, you're probably right, but I disagree with the fact that we don't have a choice.
Well,
because even if we don't get to play any of these games, we're gonna. I'm right. I'm gonna play TFT. I'm gonna play Forza. I'm gonna play Grand Theft Auto.
Well,
There's a million other games coming out. Like, I'll be real with you. The new Wolverine might be out before these games go free to play.
Sure. But that's what I'm saying. In the
What's
scope
wrong
of,
with me?
Paragon remakes. In the scope of Paragon remakes. if you're just waiting for Paragon remakes, I think it's gonna be a little bit. So that's all I'm saying. There's other games for sure, but with these, I don't see. I still think that 14 is going to come out before the other games do. I think the other games are coming out next year. So,
yep, we'll see.
Core's never coming out. Stun, don't, bro.
December 25th, Christmas gift. So, no, I agree. But even then, if that's you can't just assume that that's what's going to happen. You need to take advantage. SMS, you have the lead. You need to keep going. You need to keep pushing.
Yeah,
you can't just be like, all right, we can relax because we got a lead. Tortoise in the hair, man. Tortoise in the hair.
I'm just saying, as a Paragon remake consumer, I'm fucked and at the mercy of the slowness of all these companies. That's all I'm saying. But yes, I do agree that SMS should buckle down and get this stuff out as soon as possible.
Yeah. Goose, what do you got to say?
Man, I ain't got a whole lot to say. I'm really interested to see how all of these games react when they're actually in direct competition with each other.
Yeah, me too.
100%.
I mean, there's no way to predict how it's going to go.
I think
the good thing is, us as consumers, is we have it the best.
Goddamn right we do.
We have it the best. We do because we got 3 games or 3 communities that are trying to create a game that we want to play, and we have the ability to mold what we want as a game in a sense by giving our opinions. Now, depending, are they epic and not going to listen to our opinions? Then we're fucked. Because of that, if all 3 of these communities are going to be epic, we're done, right? But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to learn from Epic's mistakes, and move on from there. So I think we do have it the best because at the end of this, they're all going to be competing against each other, right? We've already established that all 3 of these games are going to be competing against each other. So whatever one comes out on top is going to be the better one that's going to benefit us as a consumer.
I think we should have all three teams of devs just fight it out Anchorman style, right? Like just combat, you know, just last dev team standing wins.
Can I get streaming priority for that? I want to be able to stream that. You know,
the Kush will just go in there and start swinging.
I want to stream. I want to be my camera watching it happen, and then viewers watching it through my stream. That's what I want.
I don't know. I mean, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and say our outros. Before we do our outros, I just want to say you can't be a community-driven company if you only post one picture a week. So let's start off with Sockcap, then Mangoose, then Bearded. I'll end up here in the end. Go ahead and say a little 2 cents, just a little bit of words of wisdom from you to the community as we close out.
1 or 2 cents.
No, wait. Huh?
I'm just kidding. Joke again? I love you, brother. I said Sockcap can't afford 2 cents.
No, it's true. That's true. It's true. I mean, I don't know if I have necessarily any words of wisdom, but I will say that just student TM, man, it's coming. It's on its way, and if at least for me, and when I'm getting burned out on Fault or whatever, and burned out on streaming Fault, just find something else to do for the time being. I know that's like a shitty answer and nobody wants to hear that shit. Bearded's like, hell no. But I'm just saying, there ain't much that we can do about it. No. So find something to keep you occupied. I mean, play Forza like Windu's been doing, you know, play TFT, you know.
Yeah, carry Windu on Forza, guys. He needs help. I've been watching his streams, dude. Holy shit. Steering wheel doesn't do shit for you.
Fucking hater. Yeah, I can't with you, bro. You're a hater. Mangoose?
I mean, Fault has had such a great opportunity by releasing so early to learn from the mistakes that they've made and to improve upon the game to a point where the other competitors will not be able to compete from. Like, they haven't had their game out. They haven't had the opportunity to learn from the community. Let's just hope that they actually learn from the community and take these lessons to heart and improve their game. And that's all I got to say. Because I'm drunk.
Because I'm drunk. Cheers to that.
I'm sober, man. Fuck. It sucks.
So no, I agree with you. And like, so as you guys see, I'm the Bearded Wolverine, right? I am affiliated with livebearded.com, and they have a t-shirt that says do better. And that really what it comes down to with SMS. Like, the stuff we're doing right now is not good enough. Like, you guys, I know you can do better. And that really what it comes down to is just things are going on and we're not getting the transparency as a very small community, because we used to be a big community and now we're very, very small. We need to do better. And that's really what it comes down to. Do better.
Yeah, and I've seen in a chat a message in the chat saying crazy how much faith y'all lost from last week. And I'll be real with you. You ever seen that whole example of push and pull? Like, it's easy to lose faith that somebody's going to pull you up over the ledge when they just let you go another 3 feet down. Like, it's hard to keep faith whenever we don't have a consistent communication, right? And it's not even that they have to provide consistent communication. The consistency is set by the individual company, right? So at that point, it's literally just more of a, hey, if you want to keep it to one fucking picture a week, do you, boo-boo, but set that expectation. Don't you fucking give us 3 different pictures, a community post and everything last week, and then this week only give us one picture, right? Like, yeah. And I still, I'm gonna stand by that statement. You can't be a community-driven company if you only post one picture for the week. Like that.
I want to say with that, like, Meeks, I guess you need to show up in the very beginning of the episode too, as well, because I came back to be the White Knight again. I was in a good spot. You know, did I get more darker towards the end? Sure. But that's where it comes down to be. That's where we're at. But if you would have saw me last week, I was no longer the White Knight of SMS like that I've always been known as. And this week I was at least offended. This picture is amazing in my opinion. I love this picture. I love the output, the future of what we have coming. But that future should have been here like a month ago. So something needs to happen. Do better.
So Empty in the chat is saying, who cares that 14 isn't out?
Empty, then go away.
The only ones that don't care that 14 isn't out are the ones that don't know about the game. That's all I'll say.
The ones that are playing it. The ones that don't care about 14 not being out are the ones that are able to test it. Because isn't it a tester? Tell me I'm wrong.
I don't know. I'm not a tester anymore. But hey, as long as
he's able to, hey, it's so cool. I'm able to play.
Yeah.
Anyway,
rubbing it in our faces, dude. Come on, bro.
It's okay to want to deliver a better product. It's okay to want to take your time. But if that is your motto, if that is your game plan, there has to be a plan of execution to match it. You can't sit here and start ramping up hype for patch 14 a month and a half ago and then still tell me there's no due date on it. You can't.
I don't want a buggy mess out. Yeah, Empty, then they shouldn't have announced 14 3 months ago. That's where they went wrong then. If it's that buggy, then why are they announcing 14? That's where they were wrong. If they didn't announce 14, nobody would be asking for 14. If we didn't know about 14, nobody's asking about it. I don't care if we're on patch 1345 right now. Nobody knows about it. Nobody cares about it. That's the problem.
Yeah, and we can sit here and argue all day, right? Like at the end of the day, it comes down to setting a plan of execution and meeting it or failing it, right? Do you have a map designer that maybe added a little too much and added goosebumps? Well, guess what? He's not the leader of the fucking company. Somebody should have been micromanaging him. Somebody slipped up. At the end of the day, I'm sorry, but if this were my company, I would for goddamn make sure that I'm on everybody's asses to make sure that everybody is doing their job at all times and making sure that shit is executed properly. So I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, you're not going to get any mercy from me or any pity because they want to take their time. I get it. If they want to take their time, do shit right. It's literally that simple, and that's how I feel. And at the end of the day, to the community, all I would say is just try to stay hopeful, quite frankly. Because at this point, that's all we can do. All we can do is wait. All we can do is hope. All we can do is that they give us more and cross those fingers. You feel me? Mm-hmm. But much love, homies. We appreciate everybody that tuned in as far as in the Twitch chat live, everybody that's watching this in YouTube format or podcast formats and has actually made it this far down the road. We appreciate you. Leave a like, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about the entire engagement throughout. And we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Much love.
Peace.
Peace.